All right, we are fired up to get to the Rude Guest Hotline. Welcome in our guy, Mr. PFT Commenter. PFT, what up, man? How you been?
What's going on? Good to hear from you guys. I want to apologize for not being on last week. I have a really good excuse, I think, for why I was not on the show last week. I was absolutely hammered, and I don't think that it would have been a good idea for me to go on. No, I was on vacation last week, and I was drunk, and I apologize for not being on the show. But it's important to recharge the batteries every now and again.
Hey, man, we don't care. Just come on drunk next time.
I might do that. I might pick you up on that one.
More fun show, bro.
Where'd you go, dude?
I went to the Bahamas. I was on island time last weekend and got a little bit of sun. I told this story on part of my take, but I booked this vacation like I want to say 3 months ago, and every year Big Cat and I go on vacation right after the Super Bowl. We take about 4 days off because it's usually President's Day weekend, and we always go somewhere sunny. And one time.
All right, let's see if we get PFT back there. I do want to hear his story.
His phone drunk now. I tried to do that, call into a show from vacation, and I think he was smart not to, because when you wake up on vacation, you don't care what time it is.
Right.
If you got a little bar in your room, you open it and you start drinking. I don't care. 6:30, 7 in the morning.
There's no rules.
You're on vacation, so it happens.
PFT, we got you back, dude.
I'm back. Yeah, I don't know what happened there, but yeah, I was in the Bahamas. We take this vacation every year. We go somewhere sunny. Just try to take a quick 4-day break after working through football season. And I booked this place in the Bahamas. I came into work and I told Big Cat, "Hey, I think I'm going to go to the Bahamas this year." And he was like, "What hotel are you staying at?" I told him the hotel, and he was like, "Yeah, that's where me and my friends are going." And we it's a big place, so we ended up hanging out and having dinner one night, and hit the tables and the sports book another night. But the original purpose was to take a little bit of a break from the show. It's not that me and Big Cat don't get along. It's just you know how it goes. You work alongside somebody for so long. It's nice to take a little bit of a break. This actually ended up being a lot of fun, so we had a great time there. But yeah, BMitch, you're right. I implemented a rule, which was every time I left my room, every time I walked out of my hotel room, I would take a shot of tequila before I went out that door. And it didn't matter what time of day it was. And so, yeah, at 11 in the morning on Friday, yeah, I was 1 or 2 sheets to the wind at that point. But it was a good time.
Hey, see,
dude,
I can hang out with you, man.
We all worked our ass off down in New Orleans for the Super Bowl, but that's a well-earned couple days off. Now you get to go from the Bahamas to the balmy shores of Indianapolis, Indiana. I'm guessing you're going to be in the Combine next week, right?
I am going to be there. Let's try to link up if you're going to be there. I know that time's of the essence when we're out there, but yeah, going to Indy for football prom, as we like to call it. The 1 week a year where you get to, hang out, rub elbows, toss back a few beers with some of the coaches and the people in the front office in the NFL. And it's always the newer head coaches that tend to be more visible out at the bars. Well, them and Todd Haley, if he's around. But if you're like a new coach, you take that as, your opportunity to go out and kind of show out for a little bit. Be like, yeah, I'm a head coach in the NFL. My prediction is that Liam Cohen, he's the guy I'm keeping my eye on this year. Liam Cohen's going to be closing down a couple bars, I think.
Just wasted in prime.
Yeah, it's always a good time, and we'll be there for, I think, 2 nights. Got some big interviews. We always catch up with Schefter that time of year and just kind of bust his chops about anything he might have screwed up over the course of the calendar year and part of my take. And then I believe we're going to have our good friend Diana Rossini back on the show to apologize to all the Jets fans out there for basically ruining their entire season through her reporting. I want to stand up for her real quick, though.
Somebody else, it wasn't Diana that ruined their season. It's the guy they fell in love with that ruined their damn season.
Yeah, so I was at this party at the Super Bowl, and there was somebody who also they report for the Jets, or they report on the Jets. And this person told me, like, hey, I know that you guys give Diane a lot of crap and Jets fans give her a lot of crap, but just so you know, everything that she reported was 100% true, and also it's worse than what she's reported.
Wow.
So we're gonna have to talk to her and dig in on some of these reports, and then I think we're gonna get Ben Johnson on the show, new coach of the Bears. So I'm excited to talk to Boy Genius and ask him about what it was
ask
like.
Him why did he stop running Gibbs? Everybody wants to know that. Why would you not run the guy that's getting damn near 10, 12 yards a carry?
I don't know if I'm going to ask him why he stopped, but I might say I'd like to thank you for not running Gibbs in the second half. That was a great move, in my opinion.
What was your thinking behind it?
Yeah. I don't know if he's going to, cancel this interview at the very last second. I know that he has.
That's what I was wondering about. Yeah.
No, but it'll be a good time out there, and I'm excited for the combine. I get excited with any little morsel of NFL news that we get this time of year. I think a lot of sports fans get into like a midwinter crisis where there's no football and we don't really know what to do with ourselves for a little bit. But this is a nice little refresher of, the league's still going.
Oh, yeah. Totally. We're talking with our friend PFT Commenter from the Pardon My Take podcast. Follow all his work at Barstool Sports. You can follow PFT at PFT Commenter. Talking via the Rude guest hotline. Rude is the most reliable HVAC products in the DMV. PFT, it's kind of interesting because the Commanders season went so late all the way to conference championship weekend. And then you just, kind of the vortex of the Super Bowl just takes over the universe. The combine is going to be the first time, I think, for a lot of fans to really process, okay, that incredible 2024 season is over. Now it's on to 2025. And I'm curious for you, what is kind of the top of the list as we realize, okay, Washington's got a quarterback. They were in the Final Four. How did they get over kind of the next step, which appears to be beating the Eagles?
Yeah, that's the real question. It's Adam Peters' season. That's what you got to remind yourself. Just like, let's let Adam cook, see what he's got, and I think obviously we're in a good position. We're in a much better position than we've been in a long time. There's almost every team in the NFL would love to be where we're at right now. I keep talking about a wide receiver, keep talking about shoring up the offensive line. We need a lot of help on the defensive line too. And what we're going to do to replace all these mercenaries that we had. We had the Wagner group out there last year. We had a lot of guys on 1-year deals who were, I don't know if they were prove-it deals or if they were, let's, make a name for ourselves again, show that we can still play and then go somewhere else for a contract next season. But we've got a lot of guys that were on those 1-year terms, and we've got a lot of holes to fill. So even though it was kind of like a defense that was piecemealed together, and to a certain extent, some of the guys on offense was piecemealed together, like now you might have to go out there and replace a lot of those guys yet again. So I just have to have full and total faith in Adam Peters until proven otherwise. So let's get a wide receiver, in my opinion. Let's get some defensive line. Let's get linebacker. Let's see who's out there. Maybe a running back too.
You don't think some of those guys that were here for 1 year, prove-it deals, will have done enough to be able to come back again for maybe another year or so?
Oh, I think they have, but then the question becomes, like, how much money do they want? I don't think that most of those guys would be like hometown discount guys because they were just here on these 1-year deals. Maybe they love playing for Dan Quinn. That's a real thing. Mm-hmm. I know guys absolutely do want to play for him. So I could see some of those guys returning, but it's hard to put full faith in a lot of the short-term rentals being like, yeah, I'll come back, I'll take less money, whatever the case may be. But the cap's going up. We got a lot of cap space. So, yeah, it's Adam Peters season. Let's let Adam cook.
What do you think specifically of the Garrett stuff? It seems kind of like he won't even get out of there. But would you make they have 7 draft picks, but 3 of them are in the 7th round. They have, of their real valuable picks, they have 3 in the top 80. What would you be willing to do for Myles Garrett?
So I'll preface this by saying I'm an idiot, and but I would be willing to do, first and a 2nd round pick. I would be okay with that. I don't know what the going rate's going to be for him. There's going to be some other teams that are interested for sure. A lot of other teams that are interested. I don't know necessarily that the winner of the bidding war for Myles Garrett is going to be in the best position because you're going to have to give up a ton to get him. That said, he is one of the best defenders in the NFL, still in his prime. I feel like this is a guy that you would go out there and make a move for. He's a tough dude also. He plays through a lot of injuries. He's very, very tough. And he's productive. No matter, what position his defense is in, they weren't in a place where they could really pin their ears back and rush the passer a lot in the second half for the Browns this year. Their offense wasn't, shall I say, dynamic enough to be able to play with a lead, but he's still productive. So this is a dude, I'm completely in favor of making a strong offer for him. I just don't want to, go overboard. And I don't think that Adam Peters will. I think that he's got a pretty good understanding of that. But if you were to ask me right now, do I want Myles Garrett next year? The answer is 100% yes. I would love to have Myles Garrett on the team.
Let me ask you a question, though. When do we get to the point where we stop being concerned about how much money we got to give for a player? Because, I hear that more on this fan base than almost any I talk to. We are always worried about how much the person's going to get paid. Why?
Well, because BMitch, teachers make $40,000 a year, so you could go out there and you could hire 200,000 teachers, or you could pay Myles Garrett. You got to put that in perspective.
But the teachers ain't gonna help you win. Myles Garrett will.
Exactly.
Can the teachers sack Jalen Hurts?
Yeah, we should spend our entire open cap space on teachers and firefighters, and that's how you win in the National Football League. No, I personally don't care. It's not my money, and for the fan base out there, it's not your money. Maybe they might increase, season tickets, but it's not your money that you're paying to these guys. It's it's the owners. There's a salary cap. You spend like 90% of the salary cap, even on the downside of it. So I don't care what we pay them. I'm just thinking that we do have other holes out there. It's not like we're one piece away from being an outstanding Super Bowl team. I think we're probably a few pieces away. So it all, you have to balance mortgaging the future and what you're doing in terms of the cap, which I don't understand. I don't understand the salary cap at all. I read stories from people that seem to understand it, but I took algebra 2 and then I quit doing math. So I'm going to leave that up to somebody smarter than me.
Yeah. Well, and this is the time of year where every fan's trying to dig deep into the salary cap, and you see these blog posts, 20 possible free agent releases, and it has no nuance or context to it. Mm-hmm. Dude, I did want to make sure we asked you about the Four Nations. We're talking with our friend PFT Commenter from Pardon My Take, Barstool Sports. The tournament was awesome. Obviously, last night's not the finish you want, but the whole thing was kind of so epic that I've almost made my peace with the loss even. How much did you enjoy it, dude?
Oh, you mean the All-Star game? Yeah, I guess I watched the All-Star game last night. That was okay. Oh, wait, you're talking about the tournament where they had all the best teams in the world. Russia didn't play in it, but you had some of the other good teams in the world. Yeah, right. I would have liked to win that one last night. That's my spin zone on it. I'm just pretending that I don't care because that was a tough loss. Yeah. And I really did want to win. And it goes to show you that hockey. Congrats to Gary Bettman, because he's been accused many times of not caring about the fans for what he did back in the Olympics back in 2018. This was maybe the best new sports innovation that I can recall across the four major sports in the last, quarter century. This was an incredible thing they put together. And when you contrast it to the way that NBA All-Star Weekend went, when you had Team Chuck versus Team Shaq in the finals, and 75% of that show was either commercial breaks or a live look-in at Mr. Beast in the tunnel doing something. I think you got to say, congrats to the NFL. That was great for hockey. I would have loved to have won that game. But yeah, it got me more excited about the second half, or the end of the NHL season. So we got Ovi coming back. Great news for Ovi, since Russia wasn't in it. He's nice and rested right now.
Fresh.
I think he's going to get this record this year. I think he's going to do it against Pittsburgh.
Oh,
I would love to see that too.
Yeah, that's the one I've got circled. I think. And listen, also the Caps they're a fun team to watch. So I'm super excited about watching them. I got to hang out with Dylan Strome for a little bit on vacation. So he was.
I saw that on social. What was that? How did that come about? Just coincidence?
he just happened to be there. And so I was down at the roulette table. The Four Nations was on, and he was walking past me, stopped by, said hello. And we were watching a little bit of the USA Canada right when they were chucking knucks. It was the first period of that first game. And yeah, great dude. Fun to see him. He's super excited about the second half of the season too. He's amped up about the Caps' chances. I'm all in on the Caps this year,
dude. So I mean, just the way they open coming back from the break, they're at the Penguins Saturday and then hosting McDavid and the Oilers Sunday. Like if you're not ready to snap back into Caps mode, you certainly are going to be this weekend with these games. I am curious, dude, knowing you and knowing that they have the best record, at least in the East. Are they still the point leader in the whole NHL? I know they are in the East. I'll pull it up real quick. Yeah, the Jets are a point ahead of them, so to hell with Winnipeg. But what is the PFT I'm going to start flying home to games meter? Is it first round, second round? When does that start happening?
So it's usually second round is when I would start flying home. But this year, it might have to be first round because it's like, I don't know, this is maybe one of the last times I'll get to see Ovi in the playoffs. I want to make sure to savor every moment. So I think I might fly home for one first round game if the schedule allows me to this year. But outside of that, yeah, I plan on going to as many Caps games as I can possibly make it to. Because I do believe in this team. I mean, obviously there's some things that we could be better at, but we play a fun brand of hockey, score a lot of goals, and the guys are playing loose out there. I think we got a great coach too. So I think that it could happen this year. You never know. It could happen.
Dude, so the other part of it is, like when you were in New York, getting New York to DC is pretty darn easy, especially if you pay up for Excella. It's a nice way to travel. Being in Chicago, that's obviously a flight, and there's no way around that. But you also now have to juggle, and I want to make sure like all DC fans know this, Caps fans know this, because I know the hardcore fans do, but a lot more of kind of the casual hockey fan is going to be sucked in over the last 2 months here with the Ovi goal, the Ovi Gretzky chase. The playoff goals don't count in this chase. So it's only regular season. Do you have to start to consider if you're flying home for one of these regular season games to try to see Ovi break the record?
Trying to time it out that way. I probably won't do that because that would be a big bummer if I flew back and was on the road for a couple of days and he didn't get it in that game. But yeah, no, it's a really good point. I don't think I'll be traveling to any home games for that. I don't want to say never, but I'd say unlikely. But I think the first playoff series, I'm going to try to make it to one of those games. And the great part, if you're in New York going down on the train, man, you can bring whatever you want on. There's no security on getting on that train. You can put stuff, whatever kind of gummies you want in those pockets and hop on there and be down to DC in a hot second. I'm excited about that. And also shout out to the Nats. I'm looking forward to this Nats season. I think we'll be a little bit frisky. I don't know if playoff, like maybe a wild card chase, maybe wild card discussion in late August, early September. I feel like that's kind of what we're capable of this year. And I was thinking about the Wizards too.
God bless the Wizards. Optimistic look.
Yeah, very much.
I think we got a good young core. I think we might be surprised what we see out of the young guys.
I hope you're right.
And can we just put this out in the universe for the Wizards? Obviously, Cooper Flag. We're thinking maybe Cooper Flag this year. How about just change that name back? How about what's to stop us from going back to the Bullets?
Yo, that's the name discussion we should be having in this city.
I agree.
Because Wizards is just, we've gotten used to it. We're probably 20, 25 years into the Wiz, I feel like. And it's still as bad as it was the day they switched it.
It's worse. I would say that it's worse. But yeah, exciting stuff happening with the Wizards. You got Kuzma coming back to town. Talk about bad blood rivalry game. That's going to be leading sports center tomorrow.
You think he'll wear the pink sweater for it?
Oh, please don't. Please don't.
Pink sweater giveaway night. I love that.
That is by far what he's most known for. That's just like kind of a weird bit for that to be your most memorable moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's weird.
Yeah. The most iconic moment from the Kyle Kuzma era was him showing up to a game looking like Slender Man. So great job, Wiz.
I heard you talking about this on Part of My Take maybe last week or so, or I guess maybe Super Bowl week. But you mentioned watching a couple Wizards games. I've watched the Wiz games. I recognize how bad their record is, but they're doing that on purpose.
They play hard.
They play hard, and they're young kids. Like it is a good watch.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I think that we've got a good plan in place. We never had a plan for it feels like the last 8 years. This is a good plan. I love watching Bub. Bub's great, and I still like Corey Kispert when he's playing. We've got some fun guys out there, but yeah, it's just been a bummer. The only thing that would make it maybe a little bit more entertaining is if they were the Washington Bullets again. I think enough time has passed. Can we get like a Second Amendment group out there that's going to be AstroTurf into moving us back into the Washington Bullets? I feel like that. You're right. That is the name change because the Commanders, they're not going to change the name. Let's just drop that. It's not happening. But the Bullets, I feel like we could make the Bullets happen if we got together.
I kind of don't think we could, but you have my support. So, dude, I like Keyshawn George. That's my underrated Wizard. I really, really like. He's such a pure shooter. PFT, we got to bounce, man. Thank you for the time as always, man. And let's try to connect in Indy at least for a beer.
Sounds good. Take care, guys.
Right, make sure it's before 6:30 because he will leave on you.
Last night I was out late, and in fact, I'll reveal how late I stayed out. PFT, thanks, brother.
All right, bye.